Ever since I can remember, the idea of celebrating my successes felt like I was tempting fate. I feared that if I went and painted the town red, everything would come crumbling down, like I would jinx it all. Because deep down, I didn't feel like I worked hard for any of it. Honestly, I'm not even sure how I got here. It's so crazy how our minds can either be our best friend or our worst enemy. I believe this feeling mostly comes from my life being an anomaly and me feeling like a walking contradiction. I've been in rooms where not a single soul looked like me, making me feel the need to tone myself down to fit in with the crowd, not realizing that my individuality is actually my superpower. I've come to notice that my imposter syndrome is closely tied to my shame. I believe shame is at its core. My need for everything to be perfect and my self-criticism is a defense against feelings of shame and inadequacy. The many times I was told as a child by adults that I was too much or just not enough. The imposter voice inside me questions, how can this teen mom with no higher education, who was once a stripper and a video vixen or a video hoe, whichever one you want to call it, now be leading wellness retreats outside of the country and creating wellness panels for companies like Google? But that's exactly why it's true. My wisdom, my strength, and resilience runs deep. The profound lessons I've learned through my life experiences meet at the crossroads of everything that makes me who I am. I am able to speak about my pain because I've been humbled by it, and I'm better because of it. I also couldn't help but reflect on the significant impact imposter syndrome has on marginalized people, people of color, LGBTQ+, people who already deal with so many socioeconomic inequities. And in certain situations, you gotta ask yourself, is this imposter syndrome that I'm experiencing or discrimination? Growing up in a society that doesn't accept our identities and origins can make us feel like achievements aren't meant for people like us. It creates a sense where winning seems uncommon and almost unattainable. I'll share with you a personal story from just a year ago, as I'm still putting to practice what I preach. Last year, I had the incredible privilege of working with Google Pixel to organize a panel for World Mental Health Day and Hispanic Heritage Month. My job deliverables was to come up with engaging discussion topics as well as finding the panelists. I was so happy. Mental health is a topic I am so passionate about. This is my thing. And yes, I killed it. The presentation was fire. The topics were insightful and authentic, creating a vibe for genuine vulnerability. The panelists, all Latina, were incredible. But on the day of the panel, as I sat there, I suddenly felt as if I knew nothing. I questioned how I even got there and began to doubt my right to even be a part of the conversation. Despite the months of preparation and extensive research that I had done, this is where perfectionism, my imposter syndrome, kicks in. My mind insisted that I had to perfect every single word that came out of my mouth. I was in my head struggling to prove my worthiness for being there. Bad enough, I have anxiety disorder and was tapering off of Zoloft at the time. Everyone thought I did great, but internally I was battling a mental war. What was supposed to be such a celebratory moment for me in my career turned into an opportunity for the imposter to find all the ways in which I could have prepared better as opposed to enjoying the moment. At some point, we need to own our part in our suffering. Having self-awareness and identifying the imposter's voice is key. I find that doing things with intention really sets the precedence for the connection between you and the work, the career, the situation. Celebrating our wins, no matter how small, looking at all of them as part of a bigger picture can really relieve some pressure off of our expectations. I don't think this will go away, and an occasional self-doubt I believe is normal, but when it starts to hinder our personal or professional growth, it's best we do the self-work.